I could quit my day job today. I could hand in my notice today. People wonder why they feel like crap. You are what you eat. If you eat crap, you feel like crap.
You've got to overcome the fact that your habits are usually sitting on the sofa, eating shit, watching crap on the TV, moaning about the fact that you've got no money.
Welcome back to the Goodbye Poor. Hello, Rich Show, the Thursday show. The interviews are back. Yes, they are. We couldn't keep them down for long, could we? This is just the start. This is back to the usual format on a Thursday where we've got an interview part 1 and part 2 per guest, and then we're rolling on with some absolute belters this year. Yep, we've got podcast studios booked. I'm going out on the road to see more people. More people are coming down south to come and see me. We've got groups, not just one-on-one situations. We have got all sorts coming down the track, and brace yourself because we are growing. Our sponsors, Selleramp SaaS, continue to support the show. Thank you so much to them. The best bit of sourcing analysis software on the Amazon platform, either in the shops when you scan a product, a barcode, and you get all of the data to tell you whether that product is good to sell on Amazon or not, or online when you're browsing through the internet, you can then pull up that data on any particular product that you've got your eye on as well. Selleramp SaaS, 6 weeks free if you use my code. The links are down there. The codes are down there. Go and see what it can do because it's a powerhouse. Speaking of Selleramp SaaS, speaking of my sponsor, Al Carlton, the CEO, is just one guest who is coming to grace his presence on the Desi Hamilton Roadshow, which kicks off Friday, the 21st of February 2025 in the middle of Brighton. As well as Al, we've got big players in the Amazon game, Amazon sellers, Amazon software owners, Amazon mentors in the beginning and the advanced stages. We've got wall-to-wall coverage of an Amazon FBA journey. We've also got TikTok affiliates, massive TikTok affiliates that are coming to speak to us. Ones that put big brands like Nutrition Geeks on the map. We've also got representatives of the agency that these guys represent, talking us through both sides of the affiliate coin. Then we've got business experts. We've got a confidence manifestation, self-concept expert in Lydia. She's coming down to help you overcome your fears, your self-limiting beliefs, and break through those barriers that you've got ingrained in you from that voice inside your head. We've got social media content creators, social media managers, business startup specialists. We've got content creators that are side hustlers that are now going full-time. Wall-to-wall guests that will cover every aspect of what I did when I turned that £200 into well over £100,000 in less than 2 years. This event is going to be banging. The venue is unreal. It's going to be informal. It's going to be lively. It's going to be fun, man. And I'm telling you, the crowd that are coming are out of this world. There is a handful of tickets left. To all intents and purposes, we have sold out, but there are a handful left that are still available. Go get them. The link is down there. This is not an event you want to miss. Right, let's get into the show, shall we? As part of this roadshow, I needed to get my backside into gear. On going through a weight loss journey, I'm not going to tell you how much I've lost now, it's not really that type of show, but on going through my weight loss journey, I realised just how many similarities there are in building a business and also losing weight. Resilience, determination, changing your habits, getting out of your impulses, day-to-day stuff like that, planning things out, prep, all of it, mindset. But what I did do is I reached out and I brought on board a personal trainer and a nutritionist. And I found him on the socials, and his name is Luke Hedger from Hedger Gym. I'm going to put his links down there, but I thoroughly recommend you check him out. And this interview is testament as to why. Now, this isn't just a chat to a personal trainer. What I wanted to get through the nuts and bolts of was the fact that Luke was an online personal trainer. He decided to take on this business in one of the most saturated niches on the internet. You can't move on social media for personal trainers, nutritionists, people telling you that you shouldn't eat that, you shouldn't eat that, you shouldn't eat that, you shouldn't eat that. When I speak about Amazon selling, or even TikTok affiliates, or any sort of e-commerce, when I did print on demand, or dabbled in drop shipping, first thing naysayers tell you, it's oversaturated, too complicated, I can't do it, there's too much competition. That's a frame of mind. And I'm sorry, if you're listening to that and you've succumbed to that, I would thoroughly recommend you have a little look in the mirror and see if that is something actually that you could have fixed yourself. Because here's Luke, 2 years ago, started an online coaching business. Think about it. Think about how complicated and how saturated and how much competition there would have been right there and then. And now, I'm going to let him tell you how successful he is. I'll see you on the other side. Roll 'em.
Luke, welcome to the show, mate. Happy New Year. You're going to be my first guest of 2025. Welcome.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. Excited to be here.
Mate, my pleasure. My pleasure. I really wanted to get into this particular chat, not just because you're my PT, but I wanted to get into this because everything that I've done, most of what I've done has tend to be Amazon selling, TikTok, the online side hustles that you see people start. What you've done is incredible, from joining what is a very competitive market. So I'd love to hear your story, your journey, your challenges. So I think that's the best way we get into that. So first of all, talk us through what it was that made you think, you know what, I want to get going in that line of business.
Honestly, it was a dissatisfaction of where I was at with my day job, because I've been a chef for my entire adult life, been a chef for about 11 years. And if anyone knows anything about chefing, it's stressful, it's long hours, it's thankless, and it's just not really sustainable. Either you do it for a couple of years and you get out, or you do it forever and it takes up your life. So after doing it for about 11 years, I had enough. It was actually through COVID and lockdown, after getting some time away from work, getting a solid 6-7 months at home on furlough, spending time with the family and not being on my feet 17 hours a day, to then go back to that. It was a shock, and it made me realize I don't want to be doing this for the rest of my life. So I had to do something to get away from that type of life. And thankfully, I was already into the gym. I qualified as a PT. I trained friends and family, and I figured, right, why not give it my best shot, see if I can be as successful with like everyone else as I am with my friends and my family, and also make a decent living off it and be able to stop spending 70 hours a week cooking people's dinners. And thankfully, I am very well on the way to doing so. I just had a call with so I have a coach myself, a business coach, and we run over the numbers and talk about things to improve my business. And we went over the numbers today, and it's if it goes as well as it's been going these last couple of months, I could quit my day job today. I could hand in my notice today, but I want to play it safe. I want to give it 2 more months. But officially, I could quit my day job today, and it's been about 1 year since I launched the business myself. So I think 12 months progression, pushing hard to be able to quit the day job is a pretty good achievement. I'm probably just playing it a little safe. I like the routine of having the day job. It's not a full-time day job, thankfully. It's like 20-30 hours a week, but I like the routine of just getting out of the house and condensing my work day into 4 or 5 hours once I get home, as opposed to having the entire day to do things. I like just the routine. But yes, thankfully I could quit my day job if I wanted to save myself 20 to 30 hours a week. But that's where I'm at now.
Good for you. Good for you. That's amazing. Massive congratulations, mate. I bet that was a lovely conversation, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. Like I keep a good old spreadsheet of like people, like the income and like the numbers of the business. And these last couple of months, it's just absolutely exploded. Like it's like I got a spreadsheet with all the clients, and then when someone's new, their box is a nice big green square. And the last couple of months, it's just been a sea of green, which has been fantastic. And obviously, it's not all like financially. What's the word? It's not all financially. The motivation isn't all completely financial. Of course, building a business for yourself, getting that financial freedom is a huge win, and that's like part of the reason that I chose to do that, is to be able to make a good living for myself doing what I love, but to be able to help that many people, and the fact that a lot of people are coming to me for help and seeing me as a voice of authority in the industry is a really good feeling.
Oh, I
And like,
bet.
just to be able to help people achieve their goals is just fantastic.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because what you've got two jobs that are proper passion jobs, aren't they? No one gets into chefing. Because let's clarify here. When we talk chefing, we're not talking putting down the toaster in some hotel. What you're actually doing, you're a proper chef, aren't you?
Yeah. So I started in a 5-star hotel in Surrey, in the pastry section, making like desserts and afternoon teas, and it really just threw me straight into it because there's high standards, long hours, stressful, but I thrived on it. I really loved it. It was just like fast paced, exciting, lots of nice food, attention to detail because like it was a high standard place where everything was picture perfect.
Yeah, discipline too.
Exactly, yes. And it's not military style, but there's that incredible standard where, like, let's be honest, if people don't know, chefing it can be a brutal industry to be in. Lots of shouting, screaming, physical abuse, lots of different stuff like that. Thankfully, I've not been too much. Between you and me, I've experienced plenty of that. Not in that place, thankfully, but it's one of those places where you can't be like, you've got to be passionate about it because there's plenty of negatives. Like it's a tough job, not in the respect that it's like anything compared to like public services and like working in a hospital or in the police force, but the stress comes from it's a needless stress, which makes it even worse, is that it shouldn't be stressful.
No, that's right. But it's also condensed, isn't it? So your pressure from like your lunch and your dinner service. Like, I was a copper, and over a 12-hour window, you'll have elements here or there, but you got condensed, intense pressure, haven't you?
Yeah, you've got like one place I was working that you had like an order comes on, you've got to you're cooking it straight away. It's not like when your girlfriend says like, "Can you pop me in some toast?" You've got a couple of minutes leeway before you get reminded. It's like, right, that has to be on right now. It's got to be on the pass, being plated up in about like 2-3 minutes. It's got to be ready now, or the customer's getting a bad service and like the restaurant's going to get bad service. So it's very condensed, 100%. It's that's what I don't like about chefing is that it's time. It's you're on a time crunch. It's like, I like to be like, nowadays after looking back, I like being relaxed. I like being a lot more freedom with my time. It's like, I could start now or I could start in 10 minutes time. I'm going to still put in the work, but it's like, you have to start now and be ready 5 minutes ago. It's what I didn't like about that industry. It's very intense, but it does teach you that incredible level of discipline, timekeeping, like just management skills. If you've got a team underneath you, it has so many positives if you can manage multiple plates at once and like multiple different tasks at once, and lots of stress.
Well, what fascinates me is that you've got this job and it's a career. Again, a lot of public services. A lot of people want to go into the police because they want to be a police officer, or they go into teaching because they want to be a teacher. It's the same with chefing, isn't it? If you get into food, it's because you've got a passion for food. But also, similarly, personal trainer, nutritionist is also a passion project, isn't it? It fascinates me that you took on two of the real big focused for the love of the game jobs.
Yeah.
And then you've come away from like 11-hour chefing shift, absolutely wiped out. And then you've gone, you know what? I'm going to do that as well. Brutal, man.
I know. I do like to give myself big tasks to do. I feel like I even saying it to my partner recently, is like, even when I'm working from home and I've got like my day job's closed for a month at the moment, so I've got all the time to myself, and I still feel like I need to be doing 10 or 11 hours work to feel productive. But I was like, realistically, if I do 5 hours work today, that's more than enough. Like, it's a completely different ballpark, but I just always have to be doing something. If I'm sat around doing, if I'm not working before like 5 or 6 o'clock, I'm beating myself up about it, which is something I need to work on. I definitely need to embrace the different lifestyle and the speed of
Yeah, mate. I
like
think that's much more common than you know. Even in the communities that I'm in, when people are doing their day job and then they're doing whatever money making activity they're doing as a secondary income, it's the secondary income that's enjoyable. And then you see the scope of what's achievable, especially if you've got spreadsheets and you've got quantitative data, you're seeing exactly what's achievable. And it's an obsession, right? It's an
yeah.
obsession. All of a sudden, when you're working for someone else, you have to motivate yourself to work. If you're working for yourself, you have to motivate yourself to freaking stop.
Exactly, mate. It's exactly it. It's like I was speaking to my mother about like the progression in business. She's like, "Are you keeping track of how many hours you spend like working?" I was like, "No, absolutely not. Like I'll pretty much work in some capacity like 24/7, but it's to serve myself and it's to build my own like business. So it doesn't really feel like working. So it's incredibly easy to do overtime because like the way I see it is like I put in the hours of overtime for someone else's business. It helps their business grow. I get a little bit of, well, I get more wages, but every hour I put into my own business is just going to compound and benefit me down the line. So it doesn't feel like work. So I could end up working literally 24/7 and it doesn't feel like a job. That's the good thing about starting a business in something you're passionate about. Like I don't think you could start your own business in something you're not passionate about because you just wouldn't put the work into it as much. But when it is something you are super passionate about, it doesn't feel like work at all. It's like I have days where I'm thinking like, really, people were paying me to like help them with this. I love doing this. Like imagine getting paid to do what you love. It's crazy. It's
That's the
mental.
dream, right? That's the dream. Getting paid for something that you love to do. That's exactly it. And it is fascinating because it kind of goes back as well. So when you knew you wanted to do a bit more, when you knew you wanted to get into this, did you look at the landscape and think, bloody hell, because what we're talking, lockdown sort of period, that was around about the time James Smith started really taking off as well, wasn't it? And you're getting all of these PTs coming through. Did you look at the landscape and go, right, how can I fit in here?
Honestly, I didn't even know that online fitness coaching was a thing back then.
Really?
I didn't even know. I've only known that this is like an industry about 2 years ago, maybe 2.5 years ago, is when I had like a decent level of fitness myself, but I wanted to really shape up and like transform my physique. So I hired a coach myself, and it went fantastic. And I was like, wow, I didn't know that you could actually like do this level of like I didn't know you could help people to this level
Mm.
with like the data, the tracking, the food, the exercise, etc. I was amazed by it. I had a fantastic experience with the coach I had, and because I was already working in as a PT at that point, I thought, like I said, I wanted to get out. I was PTing and chefing at the same time, so I was working like 5 days at the day job, and then on my days off, I was doing personal training shifts, which was just like tiring me out. Like I
Yeah,
didn't
at a
really
gym in
get to.
person.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So like early starts with the chefing, long days, and then on my day off, I'd have to get up early again, do it, and maybe I'd get a Sunday morning off at least, but it was brutal. So
Yeah.
having that great experience with the coach I hired, I was like, wow, this is something I want to do. So realistically, I'm very new to the industry. I didn't even know it existed. But now entering that industry, I realize you can turn absolutely any industry into an online coaching industry because if someone wants to learn something, there's someone out there that will be able to teach them. And if they're not in the same town as them, they're going to have to source that online, which is fantastic because you can work with anyone around the world at any time of day. Like you don't have to commit to being in a gym at the same time as your personal trainers. You can do your workouts and sort it all out whenever you like because they're on your phone as opposed to in person.
You
So,
know, that's true. I mean, even in our community, there's Australians, Canadians, there's all sorts, aren't there?
yeah, we've got quite a few Canadians at the moment. It's going great, and there's a couple of people in the States as well, and yes, one in Australia. Did have someone from South Africa at one point. I'm hoping to tick off every single country eventually. That would be
That'd be
fantastic.
amazing. Yeah,
That'd be
what an
great.
achievement. I love it. But you hit the nail on the head, I think. And I think that's a really important bit of awareness. I got into this game doing what I was doing, thinking that people of my age, in their 40s and above, aren't aware of the general money making online thing, no matter what responsibility or role you've got. I mean, obviously there's some exceptions. But what's fascinating is that, yeah, if you weren't aware, then there's literally generations of us out there that aren't aware of the scope of what can be achieved online. I think that's really important.
It's mad. It's ridiculous. Like the thing is that it's complete, like, because it's not just some, like I say, it's not just in person. It's, you can, if you've got the systems in place to like manage what you're doing, it's uncappable. You can help so many people. You can work with so many people. It's like with personal training, an hour session, there's only so many hours in a day. Realistically, you're going to probably do an 8-hour shift. So that's a maximum of 8 people you can help a day if you're doing an 8-hour shift. Some places it's a shorter shift than that. But then you take it online, you can help 50 people in a day because it's just ongoing support as opposed to a 1-hour session in person. It's ridiculous how much bigger online is than like an in-person arrangement.
Yeah, absolutely. And I suppose it sorts out the wheat from the chaff as well, doesn't it? Because when all of a sudden you can give a person like me a plan, but ultimately it's up to that person to go and implement that plan. And it kind of makes it easier, I guess, in a way that, you know, the people that are with you are engaged and motivated and are the ones that actually want to do well, rather than the ones you're banging your head against the wall about.
Absolutely, yeah. I think it's something that you've got to want to do it. You can't, because I'm not there in person. I can't slap the cookie out of your hand. I can't make you lift the bar. I can't get you in the gym. It's something you've got to be willing to put the work in yourself. And thankfully, like 99% of people that come on board with these with an online coach, they're doing it from a point of like they're motivated and they want to achieve something. They're just looking for the guidance of it. Occasionally, there are people that you can literally hand them something on a platter. Like you could give them meal plan, recipes, a shopping list, like everything. But if they are just not going to want to do it, they're not going to do it. But thankfully, the majority of people that do come on board with online coaching are people that are there, that have usually got a good level of experience either in the gym or in the kitchen with their nutrition, and they just need that extra bit of help. And the other side of it is people that have experience in neither, but they are really willing to learn and they want to cut out the nonsense of trying to figure it out yourself in the long term. Because let's be honest, if you try and figure something out yourself, you can spend a year figuring out what works and what doesn't, and you've spent a year of your life, whereas you could have expedited the issue, done it in 2-3 months. Yes, you've got to invest, but time is money as well. Think about all the time you're going to spend figuring out the wrong ways to do things. Cut the middleman out, get it done, and then you're a million miles ahead of where you would have been.
Yeah. I've got to be honest, mate. Here I am, probably the most motivated that I've ever been to lose weight properly, do it significantly, and do it consistently, and have it sustained, keeping it off. This is the first time I've gone into a gym and not done the same 4 freaking exercises every day, 4 times a week, and then wonder why I'm not seeing results. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It gives you that. It's just having an extra pair of eyes on what you're doing, letting you know that here's what you need to do, here's how to do it correctly. And the sustainable aspect of it is that, I'm sure you'll agree, it's done in a way that you're taught that you can have all the things you love. It's just about getting the right ratio of like consistency when it comes to your day-to-day habits that then allow you to enjoy those things in moderation. And when you do it right, like when you eat the right stuff, the cravings for the crap food actually disappear quite a bit.
Yeah.
And then when you do have them, they're even more enjoyable because like they're scarcely had. Or alternatively, when you do have them, your body's actually decided that is crap food and it doesn't want it anymore, which is an even better outcome is that I went and had a McDonald's the other day, and it tasted like crap. I didn't want it. It was rubbish. Whereas usually I'd have a McDonald's, like years ago, I would have had a McDonald's every weekend
Yeah.
and thought nothing of it. But now, once I'm actually eating good, when I go to have something like that, it feels terrible afterwards. Like going through a Domino's, you feel awful the next day because it's made of rubbish. But if you eat clean, you eat good, go have a homemade pizza. Like make pizza yourself, or go to like a family-owned pizza place and have that. Yes, you get that sustainable aspect where you get to go out and enjoy yourself, but you're just not eating crap.
Yeah.
People wonder why they feel like crap, but if you are what you eat. If you eat crap, you feel like crap.
You are.
People have no idea how good you can feel when you actually eat like predominantly good food.
Yeah. Mate, and I'm saying this as an overweight man. Last night I had I swiped one of the kids' chocolate bars from their collection boxes, excess from Christmas. And it was the first bit of sugar, processed sugar, that I'd had in 2 weeks, exactly 2 weeks. And I thought to myself, that was a bit of a waste of time. I'm not overly fussed. You go through this transition in the first week or so, just sucking it up, getting through the first week, and then you begin to realise that veggies are actually nice, The slice of tomato on a Rivita is actually all right if you do a bit of oil on it and a bit of basil. We're all right. And it's just a case of figuring that out. And everyone knows what's good for them. Everyone knows what's good for them. It's just that motivation to stay good. And then, you know what? One of the things that I wanted to get out of this chat was the similarities in a weight loss journey and a money-making journey. Because there are lots of them. You've got to overcome the fact that your habits are usually sitting on the sofa, eating shit, watching crap on the TV, moaning about the fact that you've got no money. And for the first few weeks, it's getting out of that comfort zone of saying, you know what, I'm not going to watch the 30. I'm not going to watch those episodes of Friends I've watched 65 times already. I'm actually going to get my head down and learn a new task. And you go through that change in yourself. I could never go back to that person anymore, ever, from a money-making, business-building perspective. And I want to get that way with my diet. But I find myself going through the same mental challenges, the same physical challenges, the same cravings to think, oh, no, I really want to watch that. And it's fascinating how you're bettering yourself in more than a diet, in more than a physical change. Like you said, you're instilling a discipline in yourself and a motivation in yourself, and it can only lead to good things when you're sleeping better and walking up and down the stairs better and your knees don't hurt anymore. This is all good stuff, right? Everyone knows it.
It's just taking that first step and just getting through the growing pains is the toughest bit. Like I was the same couple of years ago. Spend all my free time, like before I started the online business, I would spend 99% of my free time playing on the PlayStation, binging stuff on Netflix, just wasting time, doom scrolling, just absolutely contributing nothing towards my life whatsoever. Just completely relaxing. And I still do that on occasion, but for half an hour, for an hour, I might just do something. The rest of the time, I'm doing something that's going to benefit me because I'm switched on now, and I realise like the work that I'm putting in now, like delaying the gratification of sitting down and watching 5 episodes or something in a row. Yes, it's entertaining, but I can do that when I'm retired. I put the work in now. It's not that difficult to not watch it. Put in some work, put a couple hours work in, do some cooking, do something productive, and then feel better like down the line knowing that you've done not the easy route. You've not gone the easy route. You've chosen the uncomfortable route, but it's going to benefit you. And you stack things up like that, and you do it consistently. And after a couple months, you don't even miss the other things, which is good because yes, things like that and relaxation time and sometimes it's very valuable to do nothing at all.
Absolutely.
Like to fully do nothing and relax and enjoy yourself and just do something for you. But I suppose it's not the same for everyone, but for a lot of people, business owners and stuff like that, you get that side of satisfaction that you would have from that, but from doing something productive and knowing that what you're going to do is going to benefit you and your family or whatever it is down the line, as opposed to that like that in the moment satisfaction. It's delayed gratification. It's very valuable, very
I
useful.
think that's the key phrase, mate. In it, it's the delayed gratification. You're right, but you hit the nail on the head when you were talking about your motivation, your drive. It cannot just be money motivated. You need to be motivated beyond the financial. We call it defining your why. You need to have a purpose for what it is you're doing. If you want to lose weight for the sake of your kids, that's perfectly valid. Get that anchored in and make yourself feel shit for it. It's have a reason why. And it's the
Yeah,
same for when you
exactly.
built the business, mate. You had that drive in you that was more than money, like you said, didn't you?
Yeah, you've got to like the if you've not got a why behind a goal, you've got no backbone to the goal. You've got an idea in like to strive towards, but when it gets tough, what's going to stop you from giving up? Like if I say all the things I need to do in a day to maintain my business and to grow it, I'm going to do them consistently. And if I don't keep doing them, I'm going to lose clients. I'm going to not maintain my business, and I'm going to be forced to take like more work in my day job in an industry that I don't enjoy anymore. So
Yeah,
without that why, I would just end up back where I started, because you've got to have something that's going to kick you up the arse when you don't feel like doing it. Otherwise, you're not going to do it, and you're
exactly
just going
right.
to end up back where you started.
Exactly right, mate. Exactly right. I think I posted on my story today, 36 days to go. That's when I'm doing a speaking event in front of hundreds of people. If that's not a driving factor, that this is going to be plastered all over the internet forever because it's my first ever event. Man, I don't know what. That's what I'm working towards. But anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, going back, how did you then? You're working on your feet 11 hours a day. Then you're going into the gym and you're staying on your feet for an extra 3 to 4 hours a day. And then you see this opportunity that's an online space. How did you then go, right, I know nothing about this. I'm doing this.
So I took inspiration from the fitness coach I had, and understood the basics of what it is you need to do to like track if someone is progressing as they need. So basically, if you can find a way to give them structure around their food, around their training, provide them the ability to track both of those things, and then implement a way to like check in and assess if we're doing what we need to do. Like it's as simple as that. So I started it bare bones with just a Google sheet where I would write out their workout programs, share it with them so they could input them, so I could then see in real time what they're doing. Same with the food, like they can track what they're eating in there, and then also another sheet in there that would have the questions and things that I need to know to keep on top of, like their stress, their sleep, all these different things that we keep track of. And then literally using a Google Sheet, it was super simple to just keep track of it all. And it was literally, like I said, it was bare bones. I've upgraded it to be more streamlined now, because if I had the amount of people I had, if I had the amount of people I have now back then, it would have been very difficult for me to keep up on top of it, because it's all
Admin
very
heavy.
admin heavy, very admin heavy, and a bit clunky, a bit point and clicky kind of thing. Whereas it's much more streamlined now, much more relaxing, and easier for clients to input stuff into the app. It's super. I'm sure you agree. The app is super easy to use,
Oh,
and
mate,
just
the fitness plan is unbelievable. And especially just, it sounds so stupid, but saying, right, your rest up is done. Get your ass back
yeah,
in gear. Or
yeah,
this was the weight you did in your last session. This is how many reps you did in your last session. Just little things like that. It makes
yeah.
life easy, really easy.
It does. It's like there's lots of coaches that probably still use Google Sheets, and it has its benefits. But it's all down to the way the coach and the clients are going to perform best. And if you love data and spreadsheets, then it's going to work for you. But if you need something quick and easy, like from my point of view, I've got a lot of people that have busy lives that just don't want to have to fill out spreadsheets consistently, because it can be a bit of a task. So having a nice, easy app to use and just pop in a number, tick it, your countdowns go in to tell you your rest period, easy peasy. It's so much easier. Same with the food. Same with like the check-in process. It's as simple as possible because people need simple. We want to limit the amount of thinking and things we need to do to reach that end goal. And
well, exactly like you said, mate. Because if it ever gets ever so slightly too difficult, they'll quit.
Yeah,
it's so fragile.
It's got to be so easy that anyone can understand it, and then the only thing you have to do is do it. The only thing you have to do is follow the guidance and of course ask questions when you're struggling with stuff. But if there's already that barrier at the start in terms of trying to figure out how to read your program or understand anything, then you're setting yourself up for a hard time. So making it as simple as possible is the way to go. I don't know if I've done this for you or if I started it for the people just after you come on board, but I've even given people a shopping list for their meal plan now.
Oh, have you?
Did I give you that?
No, but I like cooking, so ours was nice and vague, so it was all good for me. Yeah, and that's the other thing, is it needs to be bespoke as well, doesn't it? That's the beauty of it.
Absolutely, yeah. Because I've had people message me on Instagram asking, do you sell training programs? And I say, no, I don't sell just programs. If I give someone a training program, they might follow it, they might not, they might get good results, but if they hit a plateau, how are they going to know what to do? I think it's silly to just give someone a copy and paste, here you go, off on your own kind of thing. So it's got to be that one-to-one support that's completely like you say, bespoke, so that when there is an issue, it's the solution is designed for you, not just everyone, because everyone's different. Everyone is completely different.
Takes the personal out of personal trainer, doesn't it? Let's be honest. And somebody gets a PDF that they download and go, and your name's on it, and that didn't work for me. All of a sudden, you go, whoa, that wasn't the service that I offered. That's very different.
Yeah. So I never sell anything that isn't one-to-one, because I don't want my name attached to something that could. I don't want my name attached to a result that hasn't been caused by me. I could give someone data and a program, but if they completely don't follow it properly, and it's still got my name, I didn't enjoy the program, I didn't get good results. It was well, it's just words on a page at that point. It's unless you get an understanding, get taught how to do it, don't blame me.
Exactly right. Mate, for some reason or other, my memory's just been triggered. You did give me a shopping list. I had it all. So, that was the thing. I bought the creatine. That was it.
All right, there we go. That's the end of part 1. We'll come back for part 2 and we'll see where Luke picks up. But hands down, a lovely, lovely guy. A bloke that I am proud to call my PT, and a guy that's put me on path to hopefully look half decent when I get on that stage on the 21st of February. Friday, the 21st of February. Yes, a handful of tickets left. Truly, a handful. By the time this goes out, they may have even sold out. But I'll put the link down there anyway, just so you can check it out, because you never know, do you? That will do. I'll see you on Tuesday, where we are going to talk more and more about what's coming down the track. And we're going to peek behind the curtain as to this event. And I want to show you what it takes to put on an event like this, having never done one before. That will do. Have a lovely week, everybody. See you around. Ta-da.
You've been listening to the 200 to 100,000 pounds challenge podcast. Make sure you join us next time for more real talk and some undoubtedly terrible jokes as Des gets ever more closer to saying goodbye poor, hello rich.